All right. Okay, so like I said, this whole unit is going to be on finding the area, finding the surface area, and finding volume. Okay, now raise your hand. You've heard the word area. Everybody in here should have, hopefully. Raise your hand. I've heard of surface area. A little different. Yeah, okay. Raise your hand. I've heard of volume. Cool. Okay, so we're at least familiar with those words.
I know this already.
Okay, so for numbers 1 through 6, we're just asked to find the area. Simple, easy peasy. Find the area of each. So, first of all, we need to identify what shapes we're actually asked to find. What's that first shape that we see? Triangle. Okay, so let's go up here in the corner of our paper. Light work. I love it. Okay, so the area of a triangle. What I love about finding the area, it's all pretty much formulas. The formulas never change. Area of a triangle, 1/2 times base times your height.
1/2 times base. Okay.
Okay, cool. What other shapes do you see? Let's go ahead and just put all our formulas down. What are the shapes 1 through 6? Okay, we're gonna call this the area of a quadrilateral, meaning a 4-sided shape. Okay, now there's a couple ways to write it. A lot of times you're gonna see length times width. Sometimes it could be written as base times height, same thing.
You times
Same thing.
it and then you get the size of the room of the area.
Beautiful.
You're working in.
Any other shapes that you guys see? Maybe hint numbers 5 and 6. What are those guys? Starts with a T. Trapezoid. Okay, so the area of a trapezoid. This guy's probably our hardest formula. He requires the most steps. Okay, so we have A plus B, and we'll talk about what those two things mean in a second. That whole thing divided by 2.
Oh, that's not pretty.
And then multiplied by our height. A plus B divided by 2 multiplied by our height. Okay? Yes, Donovan.
So are we going to use a height to like?
You what? Sorry, what was that?
Are we going to use a height to like measure these shapes?
The height will be given, yes. And we're going to use height on most of these guys. Okay, so let's look at number 1, you guys. Okay, like kindergarten level, what shape are we finding the area for? Triangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and remind ourselves. Area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. You don't have to rewrite it. Sometimes it helps me just know what formula I need to plug into. Okay, well, easy peasy. So it gives me a couple measurements here. Which one do you think is my base? Raise your hand. Which do you think is my base, Kaylee? 5. And which one do you think then is my height, Kaylee?
8.2.
8.2. Beautiful. Okay, the height, usually it's this dotted line. Tells us how high or how tall that triangle is. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug it in. Area equals 1/2 times my base, which is 5, times my height,
Oh, you're kidding.
8.2.
Oh, that's fun. We're getting some new formulas.
Okay, now, go into my calculator. 2 options here when typing in 1/2, you guys. What is the decimal? Okay, what is the decimal for 1/2? 0.5. Okay, so I could type in 0.5 parentheses 5 parentheses 8.2. That all just means I'm multiplying it. Okay, so I know my area is going to be 20.5, but here's another way you could type it in. You could also type 1/2 as parentheses 1 divided by 2, right? That's not the decimal, that's the actual fraction. So a lot of times you guys ask, what's the decimal of this? What am I typing into my calculator? You can literally type in the fraction. It'll give you the same thing. 5, 8.2, boom. Get the same thing. All right.
It's fancy word.
Okay, so my area that the calculator told me, 20.5, but 20.5 what? We're talking about geometry. We're talking about measurements here. Inches. Okay, now there's one other element we need. It's not just inches, because technically we multiplied by 5 inches here, 8.2 inches there. Inches what, Donovan?
Height.
Ooh, not quite. Inches what, Jameson?
Squared.
Squared. Because we're taking 2 inches and multiplying them together.
Cubic. No, I'm just kidding.
So final answer, 20.5 inches squared.
What is question 8?
Anytime you're talking about area, your units are going to be squared. Cool, cool? Cool. Alrighty. Number 2. What shape are we using?
Square.
Square, rectangle. It's not actually a square because those aren't equal. Okay, but rectangle, quadrilateral. Okay, so this guy's easy. Which one's my length?
6.8.
Which one's my width?
6.5.
Does it really
Just
matter
times it.
on these guys?
Just times
No.
it.
It actually doesn't matter. That could be my length, that could be my width, or vice versa. Okay, so let's go ahead and just multiply those together. Area equals 6.8 inches, and yes, I want us to write the units this time,
Are we actually measuring a box?
times 6.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go to my calculator. Don't want to multiply decimals in my head. 6.8 times 6.5. 44.2. Okay, 44.2 what?
Inches squared.
Beautiful. We took inches and multiplied it by inches, which gave us inches squared.
I'm so smart.
Me too.
Alrighty.
I thought too.
Okay, number 3. This guy's kind of a weird one. He's not a rectangle. He's not a square. He is not a trapezoid. What is number 3? I'll be really impressed if you guys know the...
It's a
Hexagon?
Not quite a hexagon. It's a 4-sided
A
shape,
A
but
ramp.
all of the
That's what it
sides
looks
are parallel to each other. What do you guys call that? What's the name?
Parallelogram.
It's a parallelogram. Okay, do we need to know that? Not really. All right. Okay, so parallelogram, same thing as a quadrilateral, 4-sided shape. Okay, but this guy, we're actually not going to use length and width. Remember I said they're basically the same?
Yeah.
This guy, we're actually going to use base times height.
crazy.
So which one is my base?
Wait, I just have a question.
Yes,
Oh, wait.
question.
Never mind, I rethought that process. Your base is 10.
10, actually here it's both in, right? This times my base, think
Oh.
bottom.
Both 10.
How high it is my height. The only reason we use it with parallelograms, okay, is because it shows us how high it is. We really don't have a length and a width when they're slanted like that. But it's basically the same thing. So now I have the area of this parallelogram,
Measured by feet.
10 meters times 10 meters. We don't even need a calculator for this guy. What is the area of this
100
parallelogram?
meters.
100 meters squared.
Meters squared. Right? Multiplying meters times meters always gives us meters squared, or units squared. Love it. Easy peasy, you guys. Try number 4 on your own. Should take you like a minute at most. Try number 4. Then we'll compare answers. Ready, go.
Right here. Right there, insert. Oh, we're doing number 2. Crap, I need to calculate.
Okay, let's maybe take like 30 more seconds if you haven't gotten it already.
No, I'm still working
Oh.
just yawning.
Okay, even if you're not quite there, even if you're still punching in your calculator. Ooh, wait, I didn't give you the answer. Okay, so 1/2, right? It's a triangle. Sorry, I made this a little messy. 7 meters times 7.7 meters. Base times your height. Okay, raise your hand. What did you get, Kaylee?
26.95.
I agree.
Meters squared.
I agree.
Got it.
I got that as a phone.
Awesome job, you guys. All right, 1 through 4. That was like kid stuff. Super easy formulas. Numbers 5 and 6. Remind me again, what shapes are these guys?
Trapezoid.
They're trapezoids, okay? These guys require the most work, okay? And when you're doing your assignment, there are going to be random measurements that are going to try and confuse you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and copy down our formula again for these trapezoids. Area of a trapezoid equals A plus B, all divided by 2, multiplied to your height. Okay, so here's where it's super important. So A and B, these guys right here, we're referring to the sides that are parallel with each other. Okay, so that's going to be the top and the bottom. We're never referring to these slanty guys. Those guys are not parallel, correct?
Correct.
Parallel means that guy and that guy. Those little symbols mean parallel. Okay, well, it actually doesn't matter which one is A and B at this point, but I like thinking A is the smaller side, shorter side. B is the bigger side. B, bigger, right? So then where's my height? How tall is this trapezoid, Kaylee?
5.7.
5.7.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so like I said, on your assignment, it might try and throw in some random like, and this is 5 point whatever inches. We don't care about that. We just care about A, B, and height. Okay? Alrighty, so let's go ahead and plug it into our formula. So on top, we have our A plus B. I have 2.7 inches plus 7.9 inches, all being divided by 2, and then all being multiplied by the height of 5.7 inches. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this piece by piece. First piece, I wanted to figure out this numerator, right? Parentheses. Okay, so let's go ahead and add these two together. You are not multiplying. We are simply just adding those two numbers right there. 2.7 plus 7.9. So I get 10.6 inches on top. Okay, so now 10.6 inches. Still being divided by 2, and then we'll multiply to the 5.7 inches. Okay, order of operations, we're dividing and then multiplying, which means we're just going to solve it left to right. So do your division piece first. So go back to your calculator. 10.6 divided by 2 gives me 5.3 inches. So notice we got rid of that denominator on bottom. Last step, multiply it to 5.7. And my final answer is 30.21. What? What are my units? 30
Which
point.
is cubic.
Ooh, not quite
Squared.
cubic. We're still talking about area, so squared. Why is it not cubic though? I mean, I see what she's talking about. There are 3 inches in there. Why is it still only squared? You guys see? Because that piece right there, we're not multiplying them. We're adding them. Okay, it's this step right there, multiplying the 2 inches together, that give us that inches squared. Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and try number 6. Again, it's a trapezoid. So now tell me, I need A, B, and my height. So raise your hand. What's my A here, Donovan?
5.6.
5.6. Yep, that's my small side. What's my B, my big side, Kaylee?
11.
And then what is my height?
8.
Beautiful. Love it. Okay, so that's going to be an important step on your assignment. Just identifying which one's A, which one's B, which one's your height. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug it in. It's going to look really messy at first. That's okay. A equals, on top I have my A and my B, 5.6 feet plus, we're not multiplying here, 11 feet. That's all going to be divided by 2. And then multiplied to our height, 8 feet. Okay, let's figure out what's inside my parentheses first. So I have 5.6 plus 11. We're adding those guys. So on top I now have 16.6 feet divided by 2. Then I'll multiply by my 8 very last. Okay, next step, let's get rid of this fraction here. So take 16.6 and divide it by 2. I get 8.3. 8.3 feet. Finally, I can multiply it to my 8 feet to give me my final answer. Love it. 66.4 what?
Inches squared.
Squared.
Feet squared. Okay, if you're measuring something, how important is it inches versus feet?
It's very important.
Very important. Do you want to live in a house that is like 1,200 inches squared?
The 4 is
That would be
4.
like less than this room.
The 4 is the inches, and then the 66 is the feet.
Nice. Awesome.
I take our.
Okay, show me a fist of 5 really quick, you guys, just on finding the area of these 3 shapes we've talked about. Yeah, kid stuff. I could do this in my sleep. A little more practice. Feeling pretty good, though. Feeling pretty good. Alrighty. Okay, well, now we're talking about surface area. Ooh. Okay, so I want you guys all to use your imaginations right now. Okay, one of my least favorite chores to do is when I get an Amazon box, is to then break down that box in order to put it in the recycling bin, right? My husband gets really upset if I just throw the box unbroken down in the recycling bin because it takes up a lot of space. Okay, so what we're doing with surface area, imagine you have a box, okay, and you're finding the area of each one of the sides of the boxes, okay, and you're adding all those areas together. That's what surface area means, okay? So, here's what we're doing. We have our Amazon box here for number 7. We need to find the area of all the faces, okay, top and bottom, and each side. Okay, so let's go ahead and find the area of the top and the bottom squares first, because guess what? They're going to be the same, right? Okay, Jameson, how'd you get 9 for those areas? 3 times 3. Beautiful. So the area of these guys is 3 times 3. Which is going to give me 9. How many faces did we just find, though?
Huh?
How many faces? So this guy's 9 and this guy's 9.
Yeah, so 18.
Okay, so check. We have 18 kilometers squared. That's a huge box. Holy smokes. Okay, so check. We did the top and the bottom of the box. Now we need to do all 4 sides of the box, which again are all going to be the same area, right? They're all equal to each other. So let's just focus on one of the faces, and then we'll multiply it by 4. What's the area of my purple box going to be?
15.
How'd you get 15?
5 times 3.
5 times 3. Okay, that's just for one of the faces. How many faces now do we have on this box?
4.
4, right? So we're going to take that 15, multiply it by 4. So now I have, for the faces, 60 kilometers squared. So what is my final answer? What do I need to do with this 18 and this 60? Do I multiply them?
Add.
I add them. Nice. I'm adding the areas of the top and the bottom plus the areas of the face. So 60 plus 18 is going to give me what, Donovan?
Size.
78. So the surface area, we're going to write SA, surface area, is equal to 78. Still talking about area here, so it's kilometers squared.
Oh, that one looks like a bundle of joy.
Oh, it is.
Are we talking about the next one, Jameson?
Yep.
Okay, yes, let's do it. Okay, so this one, he's absolutely right. Looks like a bundle of joy. We're not talking about a box with even faces now. Okay, let's first focus on each face of this weird shaped box. Let's go ahead and find the area of the very top of this guy. What shape, first of all, is this? Just the top of it. a rectangle, so easy peasy. So I need to multiply 8 times 8.
4.
Nice. Okay, so that's going to be 64 centimeters squared. Check. We'll save that till the very end, till we have to add it up. What about the bottom of this guy? 4. What shape are we dealing with on bottom? Still a square. Nice. And this
So
is
It'd be 16 centimeters squared.
nice, you guys. Okay, so now I have area of the bottom, 4 times 4 equals 16 centimeters squared. Okay. Now, what about these, let's do a different color here. This face, this side, and the other side are actually equal to each other, so we only need to solve those once. Okay, but what's that going to be? What shape are we dealing with there?
Like a rectangle, and it's a 3.5.
Still a rectangle. Where is that 3.5 pointing to?
The height.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Okay, so not quite. We're going to save the 3.5 for a second. So these purple guys, again, I just need the 4 and the 4. So again, 4 times 4, 16 centimeters squared. But how many faces or how many sides did we just do?
4.
How many purple sides?
Oh, 2.
Just 2. So then multiply it by 2. That's going to give me 32 centimeters squared. Okay, so we've done the top, the bottom, and those 2 sides. Now we need the ugly faces. What shape are these ugly faces? It's not a rectangle anymore. What is it?
Trapezoid.
Ah, darn it. Yep, it's a trapezoid. Okay, so wait a second. Which one's my A, my B, and my height?
3.5.
3.5 is going to be my height. Good job.
4 is A and 8 is B.
Good job. And there's an 8 right here, so that's going to give me B. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug that in. Okay, we have the area of this guy is going to be A, 4, plus B, 8 on top. We'll go into number 10 space. We'll skip number 10, so don't worry if you're using it space. Divide by 2 and then multiply by the height. Notice I'm just keeping the centimeters off for now. We'll put them back on in the end. Okay, so I have on top 4 plus 8 is going to give me 12, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's 12 divided by 2?
6.
6. 6 times 3.5.
21.
21.
21.
So, 21 centimeters squared is the area of the trapezoid. How many trapezoid, like, faces, sides do we have, though?
4.
No, 5.
We have
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
4 trapezoid faces? Okay, so everybody look up here. Red, top and bottom. Yes, we have 2. Top and bottom was red. Side and side was purple.
Oh,
Other
talking
side,
the
other
whole
side.
shebang.
Yeah, okay, so now we need to multiply this by 2.
Not bad.
Total 42 centimeters squared. Now we need to put this entire thing together. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so we have, for the 2 faces that are trapezoids, 42 centimeters squared. For the 2 purple sides, it was 32 centimeters squared. And then the top was 64, bottom was 16. Let's add all 4 of those together. 64 plus 16 plus 32 plus 42.
That's a lot of numbers.
Surface area of this entire thing is 154 centimeters squared.
That's a lot of centimeters.
That is. Is that pretty big? Centimeters squared?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, no, not too big.
not too big actually. It's really small.
Cool.
Ooh, if it was millimeters, that would even be even more small.
All right. Show me fist of 5. How are we feeling about surface area? And be honest. Let's do number 9 then, and then we'll be done after number 9. Okay, number 9. Hi, Isaac. Notes right here, bud.
Is it
I'm so sorry I wasn't here. I had to find a printer to print some documents for court.
You're good. Okay, you guys, another weird shaped box thingy. Okay, so let's go ahead and just focus on the
I see- I
bottom
can see how this could be useful if you're an engineer.
that's like facing me right here. What shape is this guy? Just in red.
Rectangle.
Rectangle, okay, so 12 times 6. 12 times 6, I believe, is 72. Yep. Okay, so that guy, 72 kilometers squared, just the bottom of it. Okay, now careful here, careful. Now we're looking at the sides of this box. The sides of this box, let me draw it here in purple. What shape is that guy right there?
There's a rectangle.
That's a rectangle again. Okay, so this other side's also 6 kilometers. So this guy is 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is going to give us 54 kilometers squared. You're my lifesaver today. Okay. What about this other purple side? It is not equal to the one side we just solved.
Rectangle.
It's again a rectangle, but this time it's 12 and 6. 12 times 6. Another 72 kilometers squared.
Kilometers, that's really small too.
Actually, kilometers is big.
Oh, it is?
Kilometers is like what Canada uses instead of miles.
I'd probably use miles.
We like
That's
to
a lot
use.
of miles.
I mean, they're not equal to miles. Like running a 5 kilometers, running a 5K is 3.1 miles. So yeah, pretty big. Anyway, the last two sides we need to solve for, which lucky for us, they are equal, so we only need to do it once.
Crazy.
It's the faces. What shape are the faces now?
Triangle.
Triangle. So this guy is 1/2 times my base, which is 12, times my height, which is what? What's my height?
8.3.
Good job.
That's a big square.
Okay, so let's punch that in our calculator. I got 0.5 times 12 times 8.3. Decimal, that's okay. Equals 49.8 kilometers squared. But I have two faces, so what do I need to multiply it by? 2.
Dos.
Times by 2, because I have two triangle faces. Times by 2 would give me 99.6. Whew. Okay, let's identify what are all the values we need to find the entire surface area of this like triangle shaped box thingy. We have 99.6 for the two triangle shaped faces. We had 72 for the shorter rectangle side. 54 longer rectangle side. And the bottom 72. So let's go ahead and add all those guys up. I get 72 plus 54 plus 72 plus 99.6 gives me my final surface area. This thing is huge. Surface area, SA, equals 297.6 kilometers squared. Whoa. So basically you're just finding area. If it's just one shape, that's nice. Or you're finding areas of a whole bunch of shapes and adding them all together. Okay?